Okay, do the pyramids actually hold up to their title of one of the wonders of the world? Well, yes, and honestly, no. It was amazing, but it was such a tourist trap. It was an underwhelming experience, and honestly, it hurt my heart so much when I was there. Now, let me be clear. Was I happy I went? Absolutely. Was it an amazing time? Without a doubt. But I'm just here to show you the honest reality of what going to the pyramids really is all about. Okay, so first off, you have the road getting up to the entrance of the pyramid. And that was a hassle. It just bombarded with people being like, you can't walk up, you have to drive. And I'm like, I can literally see people up there walking. Get to the main office and there were hundreds and hundreds of tourists. And I'm like, ugh, I despise tourists. Finally get in, some guy beside like a camel driver, and he was just like, brother, come here. And I was just like, this is not what I want to deal with. And he was like, no. He was like, don't worry about it. And he flashes this badge, and he was just like, I work for the pyramids. And he was just like, I'm here to just tell you information. He was just like, you don't need to pay me. He's like, there's no tipping. He's like, I'm truly just here to help you know where you're going. I was just like, oh, okay, rock on. And then from that, it was just all downhill from there, because that was indeed a complete lie. Then all of a sudden he started like walking me, and then the first thing we did is he brought me to one of the side tombs. He was like, yeah, he's like, you can go down in there. And it wasn't like an option. He was like, okay, you can go down, and now you're going down. So he kind of like threw me into the tomb, not actually, and then like I started going down, all was fine. And you can see in this video right here that it was very steep, very small, absolutely wild. Going down. And then as I'm coming back up, I had some little chaperone guy come with me. And as I'm going back up, he was like, do you have any tips? He didn't do anything. He's like, you took a video that you forced me to be in, as you're like, give me your phone, I'm gonna take this video. And he wasn't too fazed by it. He's like, okay. He's like, we go back up, and then we get to the top. And I was like, okay, it's just like, that was annoying, but whatever. And then this guide was really sticking close to me. And I was like, the Sphinx is so far away. He was like, this whole area is huge. You can't do it by foot. You don't have enough time. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but I'm gonna go do it by foot now. I'm gonna give you a good ride. And he was just like, good price. And I was like, bro, this is just when it started to go downhill. He brought the price down from $1,600 to $500 on this little carriage thing. And it was just like, I am not interested. And then I finally got away from this guy, and then within 30 seconds of being back at the front of the pyramids, someone else was like, hey, what are you doing? What kind of ticket do you have? Do you want a camel ride? I got you. Here, this is what we're gonna do. Hand around the shoulder. I'm gonna tell you all about the pyramids. It's like, I don't care. And then after getting away from him and him wanting to take all these friggin' pictures, that's what the thumbnail of this video is. He's like, let me take this picture. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just getting more and more frustrated in all these pictures. And it was these like camel riders, and just one after the other. It was like, let me take you on a camel ride. Let me take you on a camel ride. Best price. And it's like, leave me alone. And like, this was probably a sum total of 30 minutes, and I'm sure I could have been a lot more rude to every one of them. I didn't. But then once I got past there, then the experience kind of started to actually come back uphill. Once you get past that first pyramid, the actual pyramid of Giza, the smaller ones in the back are less crowded, which is nice. Maybe it's just not by the entrance, but you're not being bombarded with people. And it's, as you can see with this picture right here, I took it to be in a frame of, the pyramids. But if you notice, there's people, teeny tiny at the bottom. And that was already my camera being slightly above the ground. They were on the second layer of the pyramid. If I had have taken, one step farther back, it just would have been a giant mass of like 100 people getting pictures in. So it's like the first part of the pyramids, the specific pyramid of Giza, it was just an awful time, and that is definitely not a wonder of the world. The next two pyramids were nice. Less tourists, less, guides. and a bit more peaceful. Still a lot of tourists, but I found that like I wanted to just sit down or walk around and appreciate what the pyramids are true, like what they truly are, and everything you learned about them, how magical they are, and take in what they're all about. And it was a lot easier by the second two, but even just the whole time, because even at the second two, you're still being asked, you know, these guide questions, camel rides, this, that, and the other, and it's, you know, people are trying to sell you stuff, you know, people are trying to sell me fridge magnets, and it's just like, leave me alone. And it's, without being incredibly rude, it's just hard. But once you actually kind of get farther out, so you're past all the pyramids and that's kind of when it does get a little bit more peaceful. So the route that the guides take you on, it's not that long. Like it's definitely not worth it. You know, if you've never ridden a camel, if you've never ridden a horse, and it's reasonable. But the way they sell it to you is like there's no other option. Now, there's a completely fine option because it's not actually that big. If you're perfectly fine with a little bit of walking, then yeah, it's not big at all. Like, this is just a picture of the map of what the Giza necropolis looks like. And this is the route that they take you. And this is kind of the route that I took. You know, it's like they were red, I was green. And, you know, it was kind of neat hiking right through the middle of the desert. But it's, you know, didn't need to pay for it. And then they really go off about the panoramic view. That's where you get that famous picture where all the pyramids light up. You can only get it by taking camel or horse. And that's a lie. You don't need to take a camel or horse. The panoramic view is right here. And as you can see, I just walked right to it. Took beautiful pictures. Took a few. Got the stellar, you know, 3 pyramids in a row shot and all that good stuff. And the best part about me walking is it allows you to explore what's on the ground past, you know, sand. And I happen to find this super cool, you know, piece of floor, maybe. That's, you know, but I'm just gonna go with the fact that I found some Egyptian floor. On that route, there was a restaurant. I almost didn't go to it. I didn't actually get food from it. It was ungodly expensive. It was this beautiful display. You overlooked all the pyramids, and I just went for coffee. Oh my God, was it absolutely delicious. And I sat there just overlooking the pyramids, and that part was quite lovely and relaxing. Now, my actual favorite part of this trip was walking diagonally across that map. You know, you can see like that purple line. I actually crossed into where one of the queens, a different queen's tomb was, and there was no like it's cut off area, but there was not a soul around there, and it was almost like it was abandoned. It's like there were so many grates looking into the ground that like these super deep holes, and these grates are covering it so you obviously don't fall in. And you know, you could almost kind of sort of go into some of these hallways. It was like a pyramid was there, and then it was just broken down. It's like the inside of the pyramid. So that was actually the coolest part of my trip. And then continuing along, I then went to the Sphinx. That was also another great thing. It was beautiful to take in, but it was very hard to fully take it in because while I was sitting there, just, you know, staring at it, yeah, I had people walking in front of me, I had people yelling and screaming, people walking beside me, and then any position you look at the Sphinx, you know, or try to take pictures from, like you're capturing people in the background, on the side, and again, it just took away from the natural beauty to see thousands of people scattered around, taking selfies, doing this, doing that, and you know, like those were the parts that hurt my heart, being ruined by thousands of people that are more interested in, you know, taking selfies and pictures to be like, hey, I was there. Now, the absolute weirdest part about being here, this isn't really a negative nor a positive, but like without fail, everyone, specifically like being Egyptian people that are there, they go, this is Alaska. No idea why. Absolutely wild. It's like, oh, I don't get the joke, but you know, awesome. Love to hear it. Fun fact that I learned about kind of the hard way, and this is specifically for anyone who's a photographer, is the maximum lens you're allowed to bring in is only 135 millimeters. Now, this fucking thing, and as you can see, it's the size of my head, so it's a lot bigger than 135. And she looked at me like, no. And I actually bribed my way into it by giving her money because I am not leaving this camera lens with you because that was the option she gave me. The one thing I loved about it though was the sheer amount of camels. There were camels everywhere, and I love that because I love taking pictures of animals. So I got just a lot of pictures of these camels just doing camel-y things. I don't know what camels do, but whatever they do, they look like they were doing it well. And you can see here by this, you know, these photos that they were super interesting creatures to deal with. Oh, well, I was like, please don't spit on me, please don't spit on me. Well, I was getting kind of close for some of these shots. So the overall review, it was fun. I liked it. It was annoying, but I'm glad I went again. It's something that everyone should see, but it was low-key small. Like, I thought when I've heard about the pyramids that they are these crazy, monstrous sized things. And don't get me wrong, they were huge. Even the smallest pyramid was still massive, but like, I was like, that's buildable by a person. Like, I'm sure it can be done. It wasn't that like, oh my God, how on earth did people do this? Like, it's like, I can maybe kind of sort of see it. Past that, it just squeaks over being worth it to go. The sheer beauty and amazement that it provided was worth all the hassle that came from dealing with everyone else and it being so touristy and just people trying to take advantage of all these tourists to top it off with these outrageous prices and services. So I would recommend going, but you really don't need to spend more than one day there. And another super crazy annoying thing, which was fun the first time, but these fire pictures that I did get from people, well, it's because they all came running up to me, were like, oh, here, you know, put this on your head, put this on your head. You know, in that game I played of how many people put things on my head, like, it was funny, but at the same time, it was really annoying because they're like, give me a tip for the picture. And it's like, no, leave me alone. I didn't want the picture in the first place. How many times did I have to say no? But subscribe to follow along for more of my adventures about, you know, how I travel and everything that's real about all my trips. Not here to sugarcoat anything, and here to provide some truthful and raw kind of travel information so y'all know what to expect and have an idea about how my life is going.
Have I longboarded my way into your heart yet? I hope so.